Happy Wednesday, El Paso. It is Jackie Stevens, and I am super excited to be here on this podcast today. First of all, it feels like I have not been on our podcast show for a while. If you all know, couple of months, it's probably been like 8 weeks. We had COVID, and we went over there to Houston with JJ's soccer tournament. Then we came all the way back to a surprise trip in Costa Rica. And now I feel some type of energy that I need to be able to share rock star agents. And the first person that came to my mind after this journey that I've been through for 8 or 9 weeks is I feel that this probably sounds like a song, like a brand new woman.
I love it.
There's not on the side of me today, but I felt like I had to bring some type of power to the real estate industry and the women that are out there killing it. And one of them that I do have to bring, she is with us in our wonderful company at EXP. She is in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'd love to introduce you to Ms. Becky Parker. Hi, Miss Becky Parker. How are you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Hi, Jackie. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let me tell you just a little bit, like just the bio of Miss Becky, and then I'm going to let her take it away. I will tell you, first of all, I get attracted to vibe and energy, and I met Becky back in, when was it? Did we figure a day when we met at Kevin and Fred's?
I think it was like February or March. Yeah, somewhere earlier this year. Yeah,
somewhere earlier, and it was it was a pretty awesome event there in Arizona. And the second that Kevin and Fred introduced me to Becky, we just literally hit it off, and we talked. It wasn't just like a lot about business, though. It was just more, what can I say, more
we just were connecting more on a personal level and enjoying our time.
With some fine wine.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
and the funny thing about that is immediately got COVID. So
that's what we're going to do our little intro on, is the COVID. So tell us a little bit about that COVID situation.
Well, I slept for about 10 days, and then I came out of quarantine on my birthday.
And how did you feel coming out of quarantine? First of all, I'm glad that you came out of that quarantine on a resilient mode, right? Like, it's my birthday. I made it through this terrible 10 days of COVID. What came out of all of this?
What came out of all of it is that I learned, much like you, we were talking about this before, that I am not meant to stay at home. I was restless. I had a list of a million things that I wanted to accomplish, and just had to really put that all on the back burner and just sort of take care of myself. And I think that was a big lesson, that, you know what, you need to give yourself some grace and just rest and recover, and everything is going to run smoothly for you. So,
and fall into place. And I can relate to you with that, is that after the COVID that I went through with Edgar, I mean, those sleeping for 10 days and just getting up, like you mentioned, you are super blessed and grateful for the little things. Mm-hmm. Without health,
absolutely.
Yeah, there is nothing. And without us, without us being in the picture of family, business, being a mother, being a wife, being a team leader, how did that all come into place for you? We have a little delay. I don't know if it's no, that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, I think it might be my AirPods too, but I'll switch out. I've got a backup pair if I need them.
I love it.
Yeah, I have a 14-year-old daughter at home. So I actually had to send her to a friend's house for the time.
Wow. So she was out. Okay, I think I still can't hear you. Is it okay on that end? Okay, guys. You see, there's always a backup plan. Let's give Becky a minute or two. She's backed up.
Okay. How's that?
Yes. So much better.
Okay.
So much better. Okay. So you had your 14-year-old daughter and she literally went to a friend's place.
Yes, I had to send her to a friend's house for 2 weeks.
Wow.
So that was tough because obviously I missed her, but I was blessed that I had good friends that could take her and get her where she needed to be, because she's a busy teenager. So all the practices, the schools, all the things, they handled it for me. And I was just cash apping for groceries.
Cash app, and then you had your friends and your family who came and probably brought you food just the way we did.
Yes.
Or they did for us, and that means a lot. That's one pillar of life, to have a good circle around you that are there to help you and pick you up in this time of need. And we talk about this moment of COVID because if you really think about it, like, it affected us in some way as the pillars that I just mentioned, the family, the business, and the team leader. So that because you are running a very successful team there in Jacksonville, Florida, the Love Florida Living Group. How did all this have into play? How did it affect the office? Or can you tell people how important it is that you have that back end with it being supported?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so blessed that I do have an assistant, Catherine, that's been with me for about 4 years now. Nice. And when she came in, her first job was to write all the policies and procedures for our team, and even for her position. So that was amazing. The team just jumped in and helped out. And it was like, we never missed a beat, as far as that goes. And I was thinking back on how absolutely thankful I was that she and I sat down and we made it really clear to get those things into place in case something ever does happen to me, because you just never know. So that is super, super important, because it definitely paid off in this instance.
That's one of the main reasons what we wanted to talk here about for the women in real estate, not just the women. I'm probably sure there's some men that tune into the podcast. And, with circumstances like this, for instance, getting sick, stepping away when it's time to step away, maybe for a outing or a vacation, or what can I say? Different. When did you know it was right, or when it was time to start implementing the team aspect of your business? I guess you can take us on a little bit of history of when you started.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. So I started actually as a part-time agent, like many of us do. I did. And I was in a position that I didn't really know where that career at the time was going to go. And I was really blessed to have been surrounded by some people that helped me and gave, kind of instilled it in my brain about, being an entrepreneur, starting your own business, that kind of thing. So when I came into it, I already had that mindset that I was starting my own business. Correct. So I actually got into it because when you're in the corporate world, if your child's sick, you have to use vacation time if you don't have sick days, and you can't afford to be sick, right? Many of us can't. And then if they have a field trip, or something like that, or practices, well, you can't take off work to go take them. So there was many things in their lives that I felt like I was missing out on. And I wanted to participate in that. So that's really why I got into real estate, so that I could schedule around that. And so that's how it started.
And then it obviously grew to where I was working constantly to build my business, that I was never taking vacation time for me. And I was like, okay, now I'm at a different point. I've been growing, and I'm working constantly, except for, scheduling around my children's needs and activities. But now I need more leverage for myself, that I can make sure and be fair to my customers that I'm taking care of them and taking care of their needs while I'm also taking time for myself. So that's whenever I hired my assistant.
Nice. So when you hired your assistant, the first thing you had, what are some of the things that you had her do as you were coming in as assistant and working on buyers and sellers? For instance, what did she do to free up more time for you to focus on growing?
Sure. One thing is completely taking all the transaction coordination off of my plate. That's number one. And she had done it before, so she already knew what she was doing, and it was just really easy for her to step in and build out our system and even make it better. She had a great way of keeping me in the loop on everything. She still does the same thing and keeps the whole team in the loop on all their transactions as well. So that was number one, because you don't realize how much time coordinating contractors, ordering inspections, scheduling inspections, all these little things take from your day. Absolutely. And that way I could focus on the activities that actually are money-making activities.
That is so right. A lot of women in the real estate industry are starting off, and to your advice to them is, when you first started, maybe in your year 1 and 2, how did that look? I know you had an amazing second year, but your first year, similar to mine, it was only either 0 to a handful of deals. How can we encourage women to stay in the game and know that this is hard work? It's not easy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. My first year in real estate, again, part-time agent. I had not closed one transaction, not one. But what I did have was I was building up a pipeline that whole time. So then my second year, I think I ended up doing like 22 transactions my second year, which, so it takes up that, there's that ramp up period where you just got to think, this is future money coming in. It might not be now money, but it's future money. And I just never gave up on that. And I always kept thinking, this is future money, but I'm not taking my foot off the gas. I'm just going to keep going.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of the times is where we really, really have to focus on that. Your first year may feel very, you're scared. You feel like, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? Am I under the right? Everybody's telling me to do training or go to a brokerage that does the training. But in all reality, it's getting your feet wet, building this pipeline so that your second year can take off. So basically you're planting the seeds, you're watering them, you're nurturing them to see them grow.
Exactly.
So when you started creating your pipeline the first year, what were some of the things we can tell some of these agents out there on how you were building that pipeline? What were you doing to start the business?
I like many people say, start with your sphere of influence, the people that know you, like you, and trust you. So I started with all of those people. And I also got really clear on what my value proposition was going to be. So I think that helped a little bit with the trust, because even though they knew I was a new agent, they knew I knew what I was talking about. So that helped. So I think the first year is really important. Obviously, you're learning so much. So you have to structure that day of a little bit of learning each day and a little bit of doing. I think that that's super important to keep it going. So just keep your eye on the prize. And that's where like time blocking and things like that on your calendar is so important, because you want to make sure you have the classes that you need on there. but then you also time block for actually doing and lead generating and going and looking for the business.
Yes. What I love that you put, in some of in your bio here that really, that I think would help many other people, because it helped me years ago, is getting super serious about your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Super
Absolutely.
serious on your why.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the why and how that incorporates into your calendar to balance life in general.
Okay, so my why, actually, the reason why I started a team, it wasn't that I felt like I was going to just kind of put off production on some other agents.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't my why. My why was okay, I was able to do this. And I see a lot of agents have a really tough time stepping into the business. I feel like I might have something to offer these people.
Correct.
And, the guidance, the cheerleading, just all the things that I did that, yes, if you do it, I promise you it works, because it worked for me. So that was my reason for starting a team, was to share that and help them build careers, a career that was very rewarding for me.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And when before, back in the day, do you remember, because you kind of started this, your bio kind of resembles mine. I started 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I started by myself as an individual agent solo.
Uh-huh.
And I felt so lost and confused and roadblocks, and until I moved into a franchise, broker at that time. And then I joined a team.
Okay.
Joining the team or a team changed my life, because
yes,
there was a lot more support, collaboration, and pushing and holding me accountable to be on that
right.
team. So
right.
what would you suggest? Because I feel, it's been a couple of years that teams have taken over. They're still solo agents, but teams are taking over. How do you feel about the team aspect versus the individual agent, and how they can benefit from that?
That's a great question, Jackie. And I'll tell you that a team is going to get them on the fast track and get them into production as quick as possible. I think that should be the goal of a team, period. And the fact that they would have the support anytime that they need it. They do have the leverage there. If they have administrative assistants and transaction coordinators and things like that, they have that leverage there that allows the agent to focus on money-making activities only, and to really hone in on that craft. And of course, there's training on compliance and making sure contracts and things are correct.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to learn from that too, because there's not only that team agent's eyes on it, there's the transaction coordinator's eyes on it, there's the broker's eyes on it. So we're all working together to teach them actually what to do and how to do it better. So I think that's super important, especially it seems like there's so many agents getting into the business right now.
Yes.
And I think now more than ever, it's important for them to really contemplate joining a team that's actually going to put them on the fast track.
Absolutely. And for the women out there and I keep saying women because it's women in real estate today, right?
Yes.
Becky is married.
I am.
To a wonderful husband that everybody's always saying that he's funny, and I've never personally met him, but are you guys a husband and wife team too, or how do you guys fit in that aspect?
It's my team, and he's on my team.
So scoot, let's reverse a little bit.
Yes.
I did not know that, right? So how did he get involved? How did hubby get involved, and where do you have them for the married couples that are out there, or the women in real estate who are doing absolutely phenomenal, and like, I think it's time for my husband to come in. Give us a little bit of insight on that.
Okay, so my husband is a retired command senior chief from the Navy.
Wow.
He retired. He was still in his 40s, And I basically was like, listen, you're not going to just sit at home or go work at Lowe's or Home Depot. You're too young. I need you. You're coming in. So he did. He did. He came in, and then we looked at what was his strengths, just like you would with anyone. And his strength really was working with buyers. Like it wasn't anything that I was trying to push him into. That was just his strength. And that's all he wants to do. Like, he's like, nope, I don't want to list property. I'm working with just buyers. So that's what he's doing. His first year with me, he closed 22 transactions.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he did great.
Okay, so he is doing exceptionally well in that department. And I feel, and there's viewers out there, and they probably will replay this later, is when Edgar joined me, he was really good at the buyers and the sellers as well. And then I kind of pushed him into parts that I feel like he wasn't very comfortable in, and he's still doing. So when you say, or for the people that are out there, including me, where do you put, okay, is it wise to put all the strengths that they do? Are there things that you tell them, step away, do not touch this, do not touch the financials, do not touch, and you're just like, because we're together 24/7, let's face it.
Right. It's interesting because he has no part in anything as far as running the team. He is a buyer's agent. That's his role. And he's very happy with that. Yeah.
Did you hear
that?
Yeah. Not just kidding.
Yeah, he's just he did 26 years in the military. So he's like, he just wanted a clear, defined role, one thing to do. And then it's crazy, Jackie, because I'm always like, hey, here's a lead. He was like, I don't want any more leads from you. I'll go get my own. Just give them to the other agents on the team.
Yeah.
So now we're like, okay, well, can you at least put them in the CRM? That would be great.
Just help them type them in there for me. Yeah. I think Edgar and I are just on too many tasks right now, and it's that we speak to agents, of course, or married couples like this as well, because it's hard. Whoever said this was going to be easy is not. Right. So if you can agree with me, or maybe not, systems and processes are always a hot mess. It's never 100%.
It's never 100%. And I actually get excited whenever they're not 100% because I see room for growth. And that means also that's an indication that we are growing and we're breaking those systems. So we got to get better. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, are we breaking a system? Oh, that means we're growing. This is so good. Yeah. So that's my mindset around that.
Is this good? Because I am so nervous right now, or I'm so scared to do this. So I agree in that, because even though it seems like me and Edgar and the team have it right, there's so many new things that I learned even from you. Remember when we were talking about how exciting it was that there's the CRM that EXP has to offer, and I'm still on the old CRM that I'm using.
Right.
I had to transfer that over, and it's still a hot mess. So meaning I'm still in contract till next year. So I'm like, I can't get out of it. But next year we're going to be able to do better on the CRM part.
Sure.
So I want to go back just a little bit on the team.
Okay.
Now we have husband involved. He's on the buyer side.
Yes.
You're team leader. We have assistant. What else is next within your everyday team growing? Because I think you're on track to close almost, what is it this year? What are you guys on schedule to close this year with your wonderful team?
About 25 million.
Wow. That is really good, guys. So what is I'm not going to say trick or anything. What does that all entail, all of you guys working as one?
Okay. So what it entails, so every week, we used to have an office, and now we've gone virtual because EXP's virtual. I was like, let's do it. I could use that money someplace else to benefit the team, because let's face it, agents aren't supposed to be sitting in an office anyway. They should be out there getting the business. So the only person that was ever in the office was the admin. So she's like, I'm here all by myself. Like, this makes no sense. So we decided to go virtual. And what that means is we still have our team meetings every week. We still set micro commitments every week. We come together, we ask how we did, how we can improve, and we set micro commitments for the week coming up. And we also have training through there as well. So everything as far as that, I mean, it just keeps running. We keep adding things. We keep breaking things. I get excited when we break things, as we just talked about. But yeah, I mean, it's just business as usual. Really, there's four agents besides myself on the team. I actually am the lead listing agent on the team. So I'm still in production. Yeah.
I'm still in production. Likewise, and Edgar and the team were more leaning towards the buying side. I think we have the same concept because it's like 4 of us.
Yeah.
4 of us.
There's 4 in you.
Yeah, there's 4 in us as well. And, it takes a lot of work, a lot of determination. And what I tell people, it's showing up.
It is.
You just gotta show up.
Right.
I think that's the biggest key to success is show up, be consistent.
Show up. Absolutely. And there's something that we use Google Calendar for our team, and I can see everyone's calendar. We did it that way just because that way the administrative support would not schedule somebody while they were in a showing. If she was trying to schedule inspections or something like that for an agent, that, she wanted to know where they were in the day, so she wouldn't double book them.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so we did that, and that also helps me see where they're spending their time too, because we want them to be time blocking and making sure that they are learning every day and practicing every day. So
Becky, really important question, and a serious question when it comes to being a team leader, because it could be super stressful at times. And it's the raw truth of running a team. So the women who are needing the help to get a buyer's agent to help alleviate or the help that you need. What are your expectations of other agents joining your team? And that you see that they're not producing or not bringing it in. What does that tell you, or what accountability are you giving to these agents?
So at the end of a year, we sit down and we do the following year's business plan with them. It's about what their goals are, about what works for them, where they want to go financially. And it's not about me. And then we put that into the overall team goal after we add all of that up. So the way that I handle it, I used to get super, super stressed out whenever you had an agent that, just wasn't engaged.
Yes.
And anymore, I don't get stressed out about that as much. And that's something that, years of coaching has taught me. Years of coaching. You can't want it for someone more than what they want it for themselves.
Correct.
And we are adults. That's at the end of the day, that's really the way that it is. But I do see that once you notice a pattern of behavior, and a lack of effort, if you keep them on to a team for too long, that will actually end up costing you a lot of time and could cost you money. So it's one of the things that, I'm always continuing to grow and get better at just, cutting those relationships.
I really love that you said that. It's very hard for people who think it's easy to have, or that it's the good thing to have a really big team.
Right.
have a lot of agents. I don't know if I'm saying this for myself or how you feel, but sometimes I feel I have a little bit more ease with the smaller groups.
Right.
But there's always room to expand and to grow. So
Right.
how do you see yourself as far as your team right now? That it's very similar to me and our team. Do you see yourself wanting to add more, or do you feel comfortable the way things are run?
Yeah, I mean, I see myself as adding the right people, if that makes sense. I would rather have a small and mighty team that is doing an amazing amount of business and everybody is making really, really great money at their individual business on the team than to just have a large team just to say I have a large team. Because now I understand the time and effort that it takes. And you're exactly right, Jackie. It takes a lot out of you at the end of the day as a team leader.
Correct.
So I think small, serious, everybody's maximizing their productivity. I think that's the more efficient way to go.
I love your answers and I hope it's helping. If there's women and men joined on the podcast, I mean, it works for both. Now, right. If Edgar, you have any questions, you can shout over here. What I want to ask more importantly too is how do you balance your pillars in life? And your first pillar would say maybe be family, kids, husband, business, hobbies. I see you, Becky. Don't worry. She's like, what happened? Oh, it looks like she got disconnected, guys. Isn't Becky amazing? Somebody comment on here. Yes. Is there like high fives? Yeah. This is good knowledge. This is super good knowledge for all of us, guys. So when you're not growing, like they say, you're dying. So we gotta pick up from things. I've already picked up about maybe 3 or 4 things from Becky. Nice nuggets. Nice, awesome nuggets. She's and too awesome. Are you there, Becky? Oh, it's because you're on mute. Press the unmute button.
Yeah, I am now, but yeah, it was my AirPods. My AirPods decide not to work, and then I put these crazy things on, and then they decide to work.
I love them though. I love the headset more. Oh, okay. But okay. So we were talking a little bit about the pillars in life, and if you really, this doesn't have to just be like in the real estate business. This could be for anybody. You have family. You have the kids, you have your married life. We obviously work with our husbands 24/7 with probably minus 6 hours of sleep.
Right.
That I take very seriously every night.
Yes.
Because that's my alone time that I don't even get to spend time sleeping. And then my little Peloton and health pillar.
Right.
And then you have your business, real estate, and then say friends and family, your circle.
Right.
What does your day look like, and how is your family on track with that?
I will tell you that we've gone through some challenges as a family this year that has actually brought us together. They have to be my number one. That's just the way it is right now. So that's my number one. And luckily, the way that I have organized the business, everything's still running smoothly. But when my daughter needs me, I have to be there. That's just really the way that it is this year. And I think, we all go through times like that where certain people that are important to us, they need our time, they need our care more than others. And it just so happened to be that she needed me this year. And it's actually been great because we've all kind of grown as a family. But I'll tell you, for Terry and I, one of our big things is we jet out of the country to Roatan, Honduras, and we just stay for a week and a half, and we just connect and we just love it there. So that's kind of our special time.
I love that. So you have kids,
Yes.
marriage,
Yes.
spiritual, health,
Yes.
and then how about business and team? How do you differentiate all of that?
So I still lead generate just like anyone else does. I still do that. It's, it's part of my day. And like I said, we have dedicated days where we come together as a team for our weekly team meetings. If they obviously need my help, they will text me or schedule whenever it's convenient for me and my schedule. We have, they actually have accountability partners on the team too.
Love
So
it.
not everything has to come through me. So they each have an accountability partner. So they're talking to one another, helping them, helping each other out so that everything doesn't fall on me.
Okay. Let's go back to the calendar a little bit because I'm big on calendars. Edgar's shaking his head over here because I'm like, if I could have one wish in my life, it'd be like Edgar to get a calendar. Because
Edgar does not have a calendar.
Edgar?
Yes, I do.
He said yes, he does. I'm blasting him on social media right now live.
Edgar, do you use your calendar?
I do.
We're gonna have a married couple podcast.
Yes, we should. We should.
Right? We are, and that'll be next. So I'll stay tuned.
Okay.
For
Okay,
the
let's do it.
And the Stevens Widows, the married.
Yes.
So, I want to really go back to the calendar part because, like they say, if it's not written down, it doesn't exist. And if you take all those pillars that we were just talked about and you implement them in the calendar, 12 months out of the year,
right?
And share that with your family, with your husband, with your team.
Right.
I feel that everybody has a better connection on where everybody is going.
Right.
Don't mess with my date nights on Friday. Do not mess with me Tuesday or Mondays and Wednesdays for soccer practice.
Right.
Or huddle training for the team is on Tuesdays.
Right.
Saturday is my showing day. Sundays is my day off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you plan your week vacation or 2-week vacation or whatever it is for the year. I kind of feel it gives you a better focus on
It does.
And the kids are going to understand that. Your husband's going to understand that, or significant other, and your team will. So do you feel that calendar it's your bread and butter? It's like your real estate Bible.
I don't know where I'm supposed to be until I wake up every morning and look at my calendar. Actually, what I do is I look at it at night before I go to bed just to get an idea. But I live and breathe by that thing. Like, I honestly don't know what I'm supposed to be doing or where I'm supposed to be without it. It's at that point. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
And
So personal, business, everything is on there. Everything.
Your appointments, your lead generating time,
Absolutely.
your time for lunch. And I know it seems very like, oh, I can't live like that. It'll help you so much in being able to break it down.
Right. I actually, I like it better because it is organized. I know where I'm supposed to be. I know that, okay, I might not have lunch available in between this time and this time. There's no time to get lunch. So I can probably pack something to take with me, so I don't starve, but just, little things like that. But then also I make sure that everybody who needs my time is getting my time.
Absolutely.
I love it. The 100% of you.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about what are things that you are going or that you came across in your 2021 that you're going to take and maybe do differently 2022. How are you going to 10x that or do different things to make it a killer year?
So a little bit differently is going to be our marketing. We're working on perfecting that. It's something that I've never been happy with. And I am not a marketing person. Okay. It's just not my thing. That's not my thing. I'm a numbers girl. I'm a people person. I love organization. Creativity's not where it's at. It's just
Yes,
not where it's at.
yes,
So yeah. So yeah, I don't do crafts. Like I'm just not crafty.
I know.
These are not my things. So yeah, so that's something that we're working on doing better and getting that more streamlined. And I'm sure that there's going to be so many systems that are going to be broken in this, but I'm excited about that because it's something that I've really wanted to work on for a few years now to do better because I want something different. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I want something different. So what does that look like? So then I had to get some help with that and some coaching on that to see what is that going to look like for you? What do you want it to look like? What's going to be more effective, than what you see everybody else doing. So that's one of our big things that we're going into 2022 with. It's a huge project.
I think that's a great project because as everything's moving so quickly in real estate and so are we, social marketing and the marketing and all that is just, it's super vital now
It is.
on that. So it's good to incorporate that in 2022 if you're wanting to brand yourself or wanting to promote yourself. And if you're not good, like you were saying, like yourself or me, and I do get help, guys. So by the way, my marketing is because I hired somebody to help me with marketing.
And I love your marketing. I love it.
I got a little internship girl and she's on there and she does what she does because my daughters they don't sometimes. I ask them and they're like, I'm busy making cocoa bombs or I'm at practice or I'm like,
I know. Yeah, I have a 23-year-old. I'm like, can you help me with this? I don't know how to do this. I'm like, I thought all millennials knew how to do this.
I thought this is what you do. And when it,
but apparently, yeah.
Word of advice is if you're wanting to do that for next year and exploit yourself and brand yourself is hire a social marketer to do that for you.
Yes.
And it's going to be so much more beneficial for you.
Yes. Yes.
So what else can we end this podcast with, Becky? What is your experience tell the people out there, the women in real estate going year 2022?
Right.
What can be, if you find yourself in a pickle, if you find yourself stumped, if you find yourself where you just don't know who to talk to, because I've been there, right. And you want to pick up the phone and you want to ask people, but you're scared, you're nervous. They don't want to, or people just don't want to share in general. There's some girls out there that just don't want to share. It's mine and I don't want to share.
Right.
What can we tell these women who are super passionate about it and they want it, but they're scared? No, I shouldn't use the word scared, huh? Fearful? Or scared of failure.
Yeah. What can we tell them? Yeah, or maybe too shy to ask. Yeah. So I think that they really need to evaluate where they are and ask themselves, are they surrounded by the right type of people if they're scared to ask those questions or to ask for help, number one, because there are so many people out there that are willing to share and collaborate. And I tell you, I've been blessed by so many people, Kevin and Fred, one of my other friends, Liz, that are just really great people that never let me, they're like, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly where you're coming from. Have you thought about this or look into this? That gave me pointers and things like that, to go with. But there is a community that's out there of mothers, single mothers, that are actually trying to build this business and they want it so badly. And there's people out there that are more than willing to share with them. So they've just got to find the right people.
You got to find your right people, ladies out there. And, if you want more time with your kids, if that's something that you're just like, gosh, I want to spend more time with my kids. I need a different venue. I need a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
like Becky said, there is a community of people out there. You just keep on asking until you can find.
Right.
So how can people find you to ask you things and collaborate with you? And maybe they want to know some of the things that you mentioned today that can better help their business. Like when I reached out to you and said, Becky,
Sure.
the CRM.
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, so they can actually go to my website. They can find me on Facebook, Becky Parker. My website is lovefloridaliving.com, and you can find me through there. But I mean, I'm all over the place. If you Google Becky Parker EXP Realty, you're going to find me.
You're going to find, just like you can find
Yeah.
anybody all over the world.
Exactly.
It's that simple. And my recommendations for 2022 is follow as many people as you can. I didn't get into Instagram until recently, like barely a year, when Michelle was telling me, you need to be on Instagram. What are you doing? And I was still on Facebook. And I'm like, what in the world? So everybody that I meet, I get Becky Parker, BECK Parker, go to Instagram, follow. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Brent Gove, whoever. I'm like looking them up and requesting to follow them because the things that they do, I implement it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's implementation. So,
well, and TikTok, my 14-year-old saw that I was on TikTok and was mortified. Absolutely mortified. She was like, what are you doing on TikTok? And I was like, well,
I know.
A little bit of stalking you and a little bit of seeing how I can use this for our business.
I just wanted to try to act like them. And then, some of them were okay and they wouldn't want to do a TikTok with me. So I'm like, why? I'm fun. But
I know. And there's something that, going back to what you were saying, something that I would tell women in, real estate that are kind of struggling or whatever. And I've been hearing this a lot lately. And it's something I'm like, I keep hearing that over and over. What does that mean to me is that if you have big goals and, you have big plans for your life, but you're surrounding yourself with people that, maybe might not be in the same situation as you, then maybe you need to surround yourself with people that have those, same kind of goals, same kind of drive, big plans for their life as well. I've been hearing that quite a bit lately.
You know what? That's a beautiful said quote there. And if you're too big for that table, then you need to move.
Right.
And if you know it all on that table, time to sit at another table.
Absolutely.
You never want to be the smartest person in the world. And that's why you get out to those events, guys.
Right. And I have a really good example of that. So my brokerage that I was at before this one, I was the number one agent in the office. And I was like, I need to grow. I need to leave. So, so I left.
I'm glad I'm in business with you, Becky.
Yeah, you too.
I can't wait to get to know you more.
I know.
God, people in places that in Arizona, I met you in Arizona, and I'm grateful with the little time that we know each other, how people are important. They fit an important part in your business and your life. So
absolutely. Like we were saying, whenever we met, we just were like instantly friends.
Yes. And we were supposed to be in Vegas. Well, I was, but that's when I got COVID and Becky took off and had the best time of her life. And I was so jealous.
We had so much fun. And then I'm texting you like, where are you? I've seen everybody but you.
I was like, I'm on my third moon and kind of favor. But that's where we signed up 2 years ago, Edgar and I, at the EXP Con. So, and then COVID hit. So it would have been our second time there. And we were super planned for it.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Next year, we'll all be there.
Next year.
Exactly. I'm grateful for you, Miss Becky.
Thank you, Jackie.
If you want to leave with one more thing, you can. I want to wish you and your family happy holidays and
Thank you.
happy
Same
New
to you
Year.
and Edgar.
And,
Yeah.
Edgar's back here, and let's hold each other accountable for 2022. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Have you checked on that brand company I sent you yet?
Which one?
Look at your Facebook messages.
Yeah, okay, getting on there right now. I'm still
Brand,
working.
yeah, Brandco.
Branco.
Okay.
You get that, Edgar?
Yep.
He's right over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Right.
if you have any questions about that, let me know because I had a wonderful experience with them. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay, well, I will jump on
There you
that
go.
for you, or for us, huh? And I thank you for all your little golden nuggets.
You
And
are so welcome.
let's crush 2022.
We got this.
Bye, Becky. Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Bye, guys.